I recently took my 4-year-old son to his first NBA game. He was very excited to go to the game, and I was excited because we had fantastic seats. Row C center court to be exact. I've never sat that close before. I've never had to go downstairs to get to my seats. 24 stairs to get to my seats to be exact. His favorite candy is Skittles. Mine are anything gummy. I snuck in a bag of Skittles for my son, and grabbed a handful of gummy bears for myself, to be later known as Satan's Diarrhea hate bears, that I received for Christmas in bulk from my parents, and put them in a Ziploc bag. After the excitement of the first quarter has ended, I take my son out to get him a bottled water and myself a beer. We return to our seats to enjoy our candy and drinks. Fast forward until 1 minute before halftime. I have begun to sweat a sweat that is only meant for a man on mile 19 of a marathon. I have kicked out my legs out so straight that I am violently pushing the gentleman wearing a suit seat in front of me forward. He is not happy. I do not care. My hands are on the side of my seat, not unlike that of a gymnast on a pommel horse, lifting me off my chair. My son is oblivious to what is happening next to him. After all, there is a mascot running around somewhere and he is eating candy. I realize that at some point in the very near to immediate future I am going to have to allow this lava from Satan to forcefully expel itself from my innards. I also realize that I have to walk up 24 stairs just to get to level ground in hopes to make it to the bathroom. I'll just have to sit here stiff as a board for a few moments waiting for the pain to subside. About 30 seconds later there is a slight calm in the storm of the violent hurricane that is going on in my lower intestine. I muster the courage to gently relax every muscle in my lower half and stand up. My son stands up next to me and we start to ascend up the stairs. I take a very careful and calculated step up the first stair. Then a very loud horn sounds. Halftime. Great. It's going to be crowded. The horn also seems to have awakened the Satan's Diarrhea hate bears that are having a mosh pit in my stomach. It literally felt like an avalanche went down my stomach, and I again have to tighten every muscle and stand straight up and focus all my energy on my poor sphincter to tighten up and perform like it has never performed before. Taking another step would be the worst idea possible. The floodgates would open. Don't worry, Daddy has a plan. I somehow mumble the question, "Want to play a game?" to my son. He of course says yes. My idea is to hop on both feet all the way up the stairs, using the center railing to propel me up each stair. My son is always up for a good hopping game, so he complies and joins in on the fun. Some old lady 4 steps up thinks it's cute that we are doing this. Obviously she wasn't looking at the panic on my face. 3 rows behind her, a man about the same age as me, who must have had similar situations, notices the fear/panic/desperation on my face, understands the danger that I, along with my pants and anyone within a 5-yard radius spray zone, are in. He just mouths the words "good luck, man" to me, and I press on. Halfway up and there is no leakage, but my legs are getting tired and my sphincter has never endured this amount of pressure for this long of time. 16 steps/hops later, for steps to go, my son trips and falls on the stairs. I have 2 options: keep going knowing he will catch up, or bend down to pick him up, relieving my sphincter of all the pressure and commotion while ruining the day of roughly the 50 people that are now watching a grown man hop upstairs while sweating profusely next to a 4-year-old boy. Luckily he gets right back up and we make it to the top of the stairs. Good, the hard part was over. Or so I thought. I managed to waddle like a penguin, or someone who is about to poop their pants, in 2.5 seconds, to the men's room, only to find that every stall is being used. Every stall. It's halftime, of course everyone has to poop at that moment. I don't know if I can wait any longer. Do I go ahead and fulfill the dream of every high school boy and poop in the urinal? What kind of an example would that set for my son? On the other hand, what kind of an example would it be for his father to fill his pants with a substance that probably will be unrecognizable to man? Suddenly a stall door opens, and I think I managed to actually levitate over to the stall. My son follows me in. Luckily it was the handicap stall, so there was room for him to be out of the way. I get my pants off and start to sit. I know what taking a giant poo feels like. I also know what vomiting feels like. I can now successfully say that I know what it is like to vomit out my butt. I wasn't pooping. Those Satan's Diarrhea hate bears did something to my insides that made my sphincter vomit out the madness. I am now conscious of my surroundings. Other than the war that the bottom half of my body is currently having with this porcelain chair, it is quiet as a pin drop in the bathroom. The other men in there can sense that something isn't right. No one has heard anyone ever poop vomit before. I can sense that the worst part is over. But it's not stopping, nor can I physically stop it at this point. I am leaking. It's horrible. I call out, "Does anyone have a diaper?" hoping that some gentleman was changing a baby. Nothing. No one said a word. I know people are in there. I can see the toes of shoes pointed in my direction under the stall. Does anyone have a diaper? I am screaming. My son is now crying. He thinks he is witnessing the death of his father. I can't even assure him that I will make it. Not a word was said, but a diaper was thrown over the stall. I catch it, line my underwear with it, put my pants back on, and walk out of that bathroom like a champ. We go straight to our seats, grab out coats and go home. As we are walking out, the gentleman that wished me good luck earlier simply put his fist out, and I happily bumped it. My son asks me, "Daddy, why are we leaving early?" Well son, I need to change my diaper.